Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at probably one of the most highly requested figures from the vintage collection. You guys have been wanting to see a review on this fella for quite some time, so I'm really happy to finally bring it to you. And it is this guy, the 501st Clone Trooper. Now, really impressed with this figure. I've reviewed figures similar to this one recently actually, so this guy is no exception to the awesome thoughts that I have about all of these new clones. I'll talk about it in a bit more detail in just a moment, but before we do, as always, we're going to take a look at the packaging that this guy comes in. Once again, we have a really cool looking card back for this figure. This is really a fanboy's wet dream in some ways, because you've got a 501st Clone Trooper, probably one of the most iconic clones from the movies, on a vintage card, which is of course one of the most iconic packaging designs. So it really does look cool. Pardon the dirty reference there. But as you can see on the card, you've got the Revenge of the Sith logo, you've got the Clone Trooper 501st Legion name tab, and as I said, a very cool image on the card back itself. Really nice image there. On the reverse side, we do have an image of the original 501st Clone Trooper, which was released back in 2005 for Revenge of the Sith. So we've got a description about the vintage collection itself, and then other figures available in the line. This figure is part of an earlier wave. I think this was maybe wave 8 or 9, possibly. So, you know, it's been out for quite a while. One of the harder figures to find though from the vintage collection, so if you want to get this guy, your best bet probably is eBay, which is where I picked up mine. So I'll include a link in the video description where you can pick this guy up. So there is the card back for the figure. Now let's take a look at the Clone Trooper himself, and here he is. Once again, as I said at the beginning of the review, really cool figure. I have reviewed figures similar to this in the past, as this Clone Trooper uses the awesome updated Clone Trooper sculpt, which was first used on the Attack of the Clones Clone Trooper from, I believe, wave 6. Obviously this guy has been given a Phase 2 helmet and the 501st colour scheme on his armour. The only thing that really lets this figure down, in my opinion, is the lack of an updated helmet. Like with the Shock Trooper that I reviewed a few weeks back, this is the much larger helmet. It can be removed, and as you can see, it's made of a very squidgy and soft plastic. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera there. But it's a little bit oversized, you know, it doesn't really fit in with the really cool modern sculpt. It doesn't look too bad if you get it in the right pose, but you know, it could have just been done with an update, and I don't think it would have killed Hasbro to have done that. So that's the only real issue that I take with this figure. The rest of it is awesome. It does come with the DC-15 rifle as well as the DC-15S pistol, which oddly are both old sculpts. They're not the newer ones that we've seen with some of the more updated clones, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously, since it uses that new sculpt, the helmet is removable, and you have the Clone Trooper portrait underneath, which once again is based on the actor who plays the younger clones in Attack of the Clones. You can see those in episode 2 in the mess hall on Kamino. This one probably has one of the better head sculpts. The Clone Trooper Lieutenant that I gave you a look at in my most recent Clone Trooper review, he was very tanned, and I much prefer this paler skin tone for the figure. It looks a lot better in my opinion. So the helmet slips back over the head. It's a reasonable fit for the most part. Again, it depends what position you get it into. Sometimes he looks like he's got no neck, sometimes the helmet can look a little bit warped, so it takes some tweaking around, but you get it eventually. Obviously he's got the 501st patterns on the chest armour, on the shoulder plates, and on the sides of the legs and the knees, so that's nice to see an accurate deco applied. One Clone Trooper figure that does use this sculpt that I am not planning to pick up is the Black Series 41st Elite clone, which is the Coruscant Landing Platform Trooper, but Hasbro have made the fatal error of missing all the paint apps, or some of the paint apps at least, and so it's completely inaccurate and it just looks rubbish. so I'll be skipping that one. But this figure is really good. In terms of articulation, he does have a ball jointed head, ball hinged shoulders, elbows and hinged wrists, a ball jointed torso, ball hinged hips, knees and ankles as well. So articulated every way you'd expect, and he can even do the splits or ride the bark speeder depending on your preference. But an awesome figure, definitely one that I'd recommend picking up, not only to open up and add to your Clone Trooper army, but also to keep on this awesome vintage card, because as I said, this is every collector's, you know, I'll not say fantasy, that's going a little bit too far, but you know, a lot of collectors like, and a lot of fans like the 501st clones. I haven't met a collector yet that hates the vintage cards, so you know, blend the two together and you've got an epic package look for this figure. And of course the contents of the packaging aren't too bad either. So a really cool figure, guys. Definitely one that you should pick up. Again, your best bet for this one is eBay. And again, I'll include some links so you can get this guy for yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll be back with many more very soon. Until then, as always guys, thanks for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.